Hey guys, so today we're going to discover career readiness. Wait, did I say discover? I meant discuss. So we're going to discuss career readiness today, and we're going to discuss job interviews, how to know if a work environment will be accessible, and how the job doesn't just pick you, but you can pick the job. Alright, so there's a few things you want to look for when you're going on a job interview. Of course, there's the whole basics we all know about as far as dressing professionally, having your resume, giving good eye contact, practicing, answering questions completely and with detail and all that good stuff. Okay, we already know that basics. We all know that. But as far as focusing on disabilities and what we need, that's what we're going to cover today. So the first thing I recommend you doing when you go in a job is walk in with an attitude of confidence. Now, there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. I think most of us know that, but just in case, I'll cover it. So you don't want to walk in, of course, and like you know everything and all that, but you do want to walk in feeling comfortable, feeling like you're in charge of your situation, kind of thinking ahead of time what you may need to advocate for, just kind of having that down pat. So walk in, just yourself, the whole firm handshake, all that stuff, and just sit down and just casually talk to them. Just try to find out ahead of time what might help you feel relaxed around people and things like that, and just talk, have a conversation. And you'll see you'll just let it flow. You'll see how they're feeling. You'll fill them out. I went on an interview once where people were very cold and not welcoming, and it was at a counseling center of all places, which was interesting. But I just kind of knew when I left, I said, whether they call back or not, this isn't the right fit for me. And that's okay, because hopefully you're going to have a job for a decent amount of time. I mean, granted, there are some temporary jobs, and if you know that going in, you can be a little less picky. But if you know you're going to be somewhere for a while, you want to be comfortable. All right. Secondly, there's the whole money issue. Now, you have to kind of decide what you want ahead of time. I know for me, personally, with my disability and my financial situation, for instance, I interviewed at one job in particular that seemed really promising, but they were only going to pay for a commission. It was one of these like work for yourself. I think it was selling insurance or something like that. I found them on Monster. But you're going to pretty much work for yourself, but still, oddly, they want you to still come to the office like once a week or whatever. Going to clients' houses, all that. Now, as far as accessibility and what we have a right to, if you work for like the government, like, a state or a county or whatever, and you have to go to clients' homes, I mean, they have to give you transportation. They have to provide that. But if you're just doing something like this where it's kind of private, I mean, that's kind of on you to an extent. You got to figure that out. So there's lots of things to think about. And if that would work for you, fine. Also, I try to ask these people at some point, usually near the beginning, I don't ask them exactly what I'll get paid, but I ask them, is this salary or commission based? That's just very important for me in my situation. It may not be for everybody, but it's one of those things where if it is, you definitely want to know up front. Now, I mean, I wouldn't recommend asking about the amounts you're going to be making if it's salary-based until later on, just because you don't want to seem too cocky. So I would recommend waiting on that. Now, finally, let's talk about accessibility, okay? I mean, by law, people have to provide you with an accessible work environment and provide you what you need. But, people find loopholes. People find reasons why they don't have to do something or why they don't have to hire you with your disability. They're not going to, of course, say it's because of your disability outright, because they know that would get them in some legal trouble. Sad but true. But, when people try to ask me what I need in a work environment, because of this, I try to answer honestly, but I try to show them how self-sufficient I can be. For instance, if they ask me, how are you going to go online and put in your case notes and blah, 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 blah. And I'll tell them, I'll use like an iPad, or if they run on Apple, which a lot of companies don't, then that is accessible. If they run on Windows, I'll say, I know how to use a computer. I may not go into all the software I use on it right that moment, but I'll tell them I'm capable of using a computer. If they directly ask, how I use a computer, I'll explain about my software JAWS that I have. And I'll discuss this other technology stuff in another video. If anyone would be interested in that, I can put that up for sure. And just how that works and how that makes us more work ready today, thanks to accessibility features on technology. But yeah, I just try to give them enough detail to show them I can do it, but not too much detail to make them think they're going to have to make a lot of changes. Even if they will, it's better kind of to get there first and then sort that mess out. Because at that point, if they're willing to hire you, then they're more likely to be willing to listen to suggestions or requests you might have. Maybe not, it's whatever you're comfortable with. But at the end of the day, all these skills I mentioned are supposed to help you figure out how a job can meet your needs. Because yes, it's about serving them, but you need to be served as well if it's going to be successful. So if anyone has any questions or any other helpful tips for job searching, please feel free to comment below. And with that, we're out.